Welcome to Mainland Television Regional News. I'm Graham O'Brien, and coming up in today's bulletin, Mr Mad launches new store, hail hits Pipfruit orchardist hard, large contingent shows concerns with TPP protest, and Doctor wins award for innovative emergency department system. It was a busy Friday morning when Chrissy Small went down to Songa Street in Stoke to meet the Mad Butcher. People were queued up inside the new Mad Butcher shop to get themselves a bargain, while many were outside having a barbecue sausage and waiting to have a chat to the man himself. Chrissy managed to fight off the masses to have a chat with Sir Peter Leach himself.
What a busy man you are.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, popularity, yeah.
It gets you everywhere, I suppose.
No, it's just nice to be recognised and nice to meet the people that have known you or followed you for years, you know. Really, very humbling, to be fair.
Yeah. Is this the only time you've been here for this particular event, or do you come here?
No, I've been to Nelson many times. I'm actually coming back here for my wedding anniversary. We're celebrating 49 years, and we're coming back here for that, between here and Blenheim, of course. And no, I've been here several times. I come down here and done a fundraising for some kids a few years ago. You know, it's all good, mate. You know what I mean? It's I got friends down here called the Bergmans. Got quite a lot of friends in Nelson, actually.
Oh,
yeah.
Great. So no holiday home, mate?
No, that's Waiheke Island. No, Waiheke Island. Yeah.
Now, have you been following our Marcos?
Yeah, mate. Well, my friend was playing for them for a little while, Jimmy Cowan.
Yeah.
And of course, the owner of the store, he played for them. You know, so we like rugby as well.
Now, getting back to why you're here today, I believe this is the 40th store in the country.
Yep, and I don't own the company anymore. I just I sold it 3 years ago, I think. And but part of my job is brand manager. I come to the opening. So look, the guy that's got the store, a really nice bloke, and got a young baby, young wife, and they'll do very well, I think, very well.
And this will bring, of course, some great healthy competition into the area.
Well, yeah, we just like to think we keep the price of meat down wherever we go, and that's been proven in places like Christchurch and in Invercargill. Prices drop when we open. People that couldn't sell meat cheap before we arrive all of a sudden can do it. So, yeah, we're good. You know, people may not shop here all the time, but we certainly help them.
Yeah. Well, Sir Peter, it's wonderful to have you here. It's great to see you looking just radiant in health, and we hope that continues for many years, and we all love you.
Good on you, lovely.
A silver Nissan driven by a 19-year-old male came off the road on Thursday after travelling at speed over the Motueka Bridge. The man lost control of the vehicle and managed to sustain no significant injuries after the vehicle hit a streetlight. Police confirmed he will be facing some charges. The Nelson Hospital Glance system, developed in Nelson Hospital by Dr Tom Morton, has won the Health Informatics New Zealand Clinicians Challenge 2014 with his innovative emergency department ED at a glance, which is an electronic whiteboard that shows at a glance the patient's name, how long they have been in ED, which cubicle they are in, symptoms and testings. The program links with the clinical information system, giving ED staff access to patient notes, radiology and laboratory results as they come through. The winner was announced this week on Tuesday night after the 3 shortlisted entries each gave an 8-minute presentation to the judges at the HINZ annual conference in Auckland. Dr Morton received a $10,000 grant. Dr Tom Morton said that this award was a great honour and wanted to thank the hospital's IT team, especially Chris Flaherty and Darren Markham, who helped to develop their system over a number of years. He said the ED at a glance system is truly homegrown and was very complex to develop. Being a collaborative project, he also thanked the ED staff for their contribution to the system, saying we've come up with a product worth celebrating. Chrissy Small went out to visit 2 orchards in Rewalker which were the worst hit area by hail, causing maximum damage. She spoke with Ian Palmer, who is the Pipfruit New Zealand representative leading the response and also one of the many orchardists affected.
Ian, terrible situation last week, a week ago today, that we had this terrible hailstorm that came through. What area did it cover?
It looks like it's covered around 10 kilometres through the region, from the central Lomountry area right through to Rewalker.
Right, gosh, that's some distance.
Yes, it's the largest event we've ever incurred here.
Yep, now, honestly, the the amount of damage. How many orchards are involved with this?
At this stage, we understand there are about 40 growers affected. We still haven't yet quite quantified the total area. It's taking a little while to get that fully determined.
Right, and what have we got as far as insurance goes for those orchardists?
My understanding at this stage is about 25% of those orchards are insured. So we do have some situations where some growers have lost all their income for the entire year.
That's terrible. Now, you're the, I guess, coordinator for the Pitfruit New Zealand recovery or
Yeah, I've been asked to coordinate the hail response here in Nelson and to work with the growers and also work with the government departments on what supports we need there.
So we've got a situation where the minister's taken a look, he can see the damage. Is he offering any financial support?
No, and we didn't ask for financial support from him at this stage. I don't think that's appropriate. What we need to do is work through what we actually need to do for our growers, and then we'll look at what options we need. It is a challenge, but I guess as a region, our growers will pull together, and we'll manage our staff. We'll make sure people have jobs, and we'll get through this as a region. But it is definitely going to be very challenging for us.
Okay, and the overseas workers, the islanders that come here, they are so reliant on this for their economies. How will it affect them?
Well, it's a little bit early to actually say what the direct effect might be, but the first workers are arriving now or over the next week, and there still will be plenty of work for them. I guess growers will be reviewing their harvesting requirements as we go forward, but we have a governance group here that will look after that for us, and we'll make prudent and appropriate decisions around staffing as we go forward.
Right. Of course, you were saying earlier to me that you're going to be trying to get permanent staff relocated at other orchards.
Yes, certainly. If any staff are being laid off from the affected orchards, we'll work as an industry to try and relocate and redistribute staff around the region. We can't afford to lose our knowledge base we have within the industry, so that's our first priority.
Okay. Now, the subject of Motueka came up earlier as well, how that will affect the smaller businesses in the region.
Well, certainly a hit of this magnitude, the estimates at this stage, it could be around a $40 million effect to our economy, and I think that will certainly create some challenges for Motueka, and I think those won't really be felt until next winter. So at least there's a bit of time for businesses to plan, but it certainly will be challenging for the town. What you see here is the leaves are completely shredded, but when you come and look closely at the fruit, they've all got dents all around them from the hail, and so the fruit have got dents in them, and and so you look at any. There's a really good example there. This fruit there is just dented to bits and destroyed. So this block's pretty much been assessed at 100% damaged.
Insurance?
There is an insurance system with the kiwi fruit. But it's not a lot, but they will get a payout on the loss. But the biggest issue is the vine health, with the loss of leaves and the damage to the new cane, and the challenge is getting quality cane for next year now as well. So it could have a longer impact than 1 year here. At a glance, all the fruits are still there, but they are damaged beyond what is a viable fruit that with the damage they have.
That's right. Gosh, yeah.
And this is where the hail was a foot deep on the ground in here. So I've broken that flower open, and it'll just be damaged to bits inside there, and it's unlikely it can produce it because the fruit that forms out of the top bit, out of the top there, and that'll be dented into it, and it's probably impossible to see at this stage, but it will grow away with a deformed. Yeah, it's too soon to see it, but it'll grow away with a deformed fruit. And so there's my understanding, about 20 hectares of kiwi fruit like this that are total loss. So it's quite disappointing to see.
Last Saturday, 350 Nelsonians marched to the Queen's Gardens to hear what actions have been taken up till now and what can be done to ensure future generations have the same rights and freedoms that we currently take for granted. People from all walks of life attended the TPP protest, showing that a single issue, as was demonstrated by the nuclear-free movement, can cross political boundaries and bring together people in the best interests of the country and the people. with the surprise appearance of Ariana Tikal, who was on a national tour for her new album, and accompanying her was Nelson's own Jackie Walters, giving those attending a break from the serious issues of the day. We asked people in the street on Monday if they went to the TPP protest and if they were at all concerned about the secret negotiations going on with the TPP.
Are you concerned about the secret TPPA negotiations?
Well, we're just selling the country to overseas interests.
I did not attend the protest. I had really hoped to, but it was my first day back at work for a bit. I think it's fantastic that as many people turned out as they did. I think it is ludicrous that something as large and sweeping as this Pacific Partnership Agreement is sort of being rushed through with very little public consultation, very little information being disseminated from the mainstream media. Certainly it has ramifications to impact everybody's lives here in New Zealand, and if people were aware of the consequences of some of these huge trade agreements that come out of corporate America, I think they would be aghast at what the consequences would mean for the everyday New Zealanders here.
So you're definitely concerned about that?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's only one of many, actually. I was just listening to national radio this morning, and there's a huge Asia-Pacific Partnership Agreement that's also being sort of fast-tracked on the sidelines with nobody really aware of what's going on. And unless you actually take the time to seek information online independently, you will never find any information in the mainstream media coming towards you. And if you do, it's often very slanted. And this should be something that we should see a referendum on here in New Zealand, not a flag or other sort of petty things. This has huge ramifications for a small country like New Zealand, and I hate to see it rushed through.
As a fairly small country, we rely on openness, transparency, fairness to get a good result, and things behind closed doors tend to favour, I guess, more powerful countries. Yeah.
Thank you.
The Nelson Marlborough Rescue Helicopter has reached the record 400 mission mark so far this year, and the year hasn't ended yet. This beats the Trust's busiest year in 2012, when they did a total of 375 missions, stretching their limited resources and funding. The Nelson Marlborough Rescue Helicopter Trust is a charitable trust, and to continue to operate it relies solely on donations and fundraisers to be able to employ their onboard paramedics, pilots and on-ground staff, amongst the extensive costs of flying and maintaining the aircraft. To help counter this, the rescue helicopter volunteers are constantly finding ways to bring in funds, with the latest event planned being a fundraiser fashion show at Pocket Park on Bridge Street on December the 4th from 6 p.m. An attempt to boost the coffers for the busy Christmas and summer season that will see more people putting themselves in places that they sometimes need rescuing from, along with the medical emergencies that unfortunately are all too common. The Trust does get some partial funds back on certain missions through ACC when they deliver an injured to hospital, but if a mission is or becomes a body recovery, there is no ACC contribution to the cost of the mission, which is why donations are so important to continue this essential service. A wine with an unusual name had Mainland's Chrissy Small stop into Waimea Estate this week to speak with General Manager and viticulturalist Ben Biritho about their Waimea Gruner Feldliner 2014, which was awarded a gold medal and then went on to win the River Sun Trophy for the best New Zealand wine in the 14th annual Australian Alternative Varieties Wine Show this week.
So it's the Australian Alternative Wine Competition, which has been running for, I think, 14 years to date. New Zealand wines have only been eligible to enter for 12 of those 14 years. I guess when the Australians saw sense that New Zealand needed to be included. This year is the first year that River Sun, the nursery that imports a lot of the new varieties into New Zealand, has sponsored the best New Zealand wine in the show. And of course that's the trophy that Waimea won this year with our Gruner Veltliner.
Yeah. Okay. Look, you've got many award-winning wines here.
Yep.
It would be difficult for anyone to know which one to have. But of course this is the latest winner. And people, of course, can come down here to your cellar door and...
Yeah, we can come down to the cellar door at Waimea Estates, and the Gruner Veltliner's available there, along with our other entire selection of award-winning wines.
Right.
And Waimea's had quite a good week this week. We've had the Sydney Top 100 show announced, where we've won Blue Gold for our Sauvignon Blanc 2014, and also the Gruner Veltliner 2014 in that show, and then of course the Alternative Australian Wine Show, where the Gruner won the gold and the trophy, and just recently the Air New Zealand Wine Awards, where we won a pure gold for our Waimea 2014 Pinot Gris.
Goodness, so gold.
Good week.
That will equate to dollars, I would imagine, with demand.
It does in demand. You don't necessarily get more for the wine because it's won the medals, but it's certainly the demand and the perception and the appetite for people to buy our wine is increased when you can prove that what's in the bottle's perfect. Ben,
what do you have in the soil that makes your grapes special?
What do we have in our soil that makes it special? Well, generally on the Waimea Plains, our soils are stony, alluvial soil, so there's a lot of rock, a lot of the availability of nutrients in that soil is suppressed because basically, to talk about it, as if you've got a fuel tank in your car and you drop a whole lot of rocks in it, you can't get as much petrol in there. So the same thing happens on the Waimea Plains, that you drop all the rocks in there and there's only a little bit of soil around them, and that's where all the nutrients and life for the vines sit. So naturally, the availability of nutrients that produces vigour is not as large in our soils here, and that suppresses the vigour and increases the concentration on the grapes. Yeah.
Oh, Ben, look, congratulations.
Yep.
Fantastic. It's great to see our local wines doing well overseas and internationally, and we just want to keep seeing more of it. So thank you very much.
It's a great honour on behalf of Waimea Estates to be able to put Nelson forward in the way we do.
Nelson local McKinlay Clark, aka Mac from the Smugglers Bar and Cafe, is flying up to Auckland next week to compete in the Stella Artois National Draft Masters next Wednesday. He was nominated by Smugglers Management to represent their business. 20 Stella Artois bartenders from all around the country have been handpicked to compete in the national final, all with the goal to take out one of the New Zealand's most prestigious titles, the New Zealand Stella Artois Draft Master. The finalists will have to compete in a variety of tasks. This is potentially the break of a lifetime for Mac, as the winner of the final will go on to represent New Zealand at the Stella Artois World Draft Master competition, taking place in Wimbledon in 2015. Not only will they have an unforgettable trip, but the winner of this will become an international brand ambassador for Stella Artois. The role would see the winner jet-setting around the world for a year. We went to Smugglers to speak with Mac, their bartender contender. We all pour beer from time to time. We look at that and say, wow, that's a perfect beer, but Stella Artois is looking for the person who can pour the best beer perfect every time. Can you tell us a little bit about the competition, the world-renowned competition that Stella Artois is running, and how you got there and what it's all about?
So basically there's 9 steps to pouring Stella Artois, and we're looking to get each step perfect. So Laura from Lion, she came down a few weeks ago, and she's been going around New Zealand marking everyone off, making sure they're getting all the steps right. And luckily for me, I got down to the top 20 in New Zealand. So I'll be going up to Auckland on Wednesday to compete against the final 20 and pour it out, have a pour battle basically. So we face off each other, and it's a knockout round to see who can get to the top.
Oh,
yeah,
that's fantastic.
So the person who comes first in that competition will then head over to England and compete against the best in the world to represent Stella as a brand ambassador. So fingers crossed. Well, I'm just going to keep my sights set on the Auckland one first. So yeah, make sure I'm all good for that.
Usually with a competition, you have some sort of lead up to it that you sort of drill yourself. Have you been doing any sort of special training for it?
Well, we've had the local touch team, the Hardcourts touch team, coming in every Thursday, and they've been asking me questions about it and stuff. There's 16 guys that always come in, so I get to pour a lot of Stella for them, and they're great guys. They've been helping me out a lot. and 2 guys from Air Nelson who just were staying at the Beachcomber next door. They used to come in pretty much every night and they'd let me pour them a few Stellas. So yeah, we've had the locals helping me out, so that's been good for us, yeah. Well, good for me anyway, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what you need, the local support, don't you?
Definitely, yeah.
Mac, you're going to represent Nelson and New Zealand. Has the award been won by Nelson or New Zealand before?
I'm not too sure about Nelson, but New Zealand in the World Draft Masters has won it about 3 times, so they've done quite well, and that's been going since 1998 or 1997, I believe. So New Zealand's definitely got a good chance of winning, and I hope I'm going to be one of the next ones, definitely. So I'm originally from England, but I can represent the Kiwis pretty well, I'd say. Definitely, yeah.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much for that, and all the best for the competition.
Okay, no worries. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Just to show that Mainland does good investigative reporting, we best try the product. This week we had in our studio New Zealand Hall of Fame musician Alan Mansfield, who worked extensively with legendary Kiwi band Dragon up until the sudden death of the band's lead vocalist Mark Hunter. Alan has toured extensively with many world-renowned artists over the years, and he is also the partner of our very own Sharon O'Neill. Chrissy Small caught up with Alan and asked him about his musical past and whether they will make the move back to NZ.
We're really fortunate to have in the studio Alan Mansfield, who is the partner of our wonderful Sharon O'Neill, who we had in the studio last week. This week it's Alan's turn. It's actually Alan's birthday today. Happy birthday, Alan.
Thank you, Chrissy, darling. Thank you.
Yeah, look, we're just really rapt to have you here. It's such a busy day. I'm sure there's lots of exciting adventures that you need to be on right now, but I'm keeping you back for 5 minutes.
Sharon will keep me busy today.
Yeah. Now, great concert on the weekend. 2 concerts really, but the big one on Saturday was fabulous.
It was, wasn't it? It was really good.
Yeah, and
you were there to witness it and sing it.
Yeah, well, that's right. I was humming in the background, but you know what? The thing is, and you must feel it because you live away from your hometown, and you're in Australia, in Sydney, and that's now your home. But you're from New York, and so coming to Sharon's hometown. Do you feel kind of excited by doing that, by coming here?
Well, we've been coming back quite a few years now, and every time we come back it's like a breath of fresh air. So it's really good, and it was really great coming back this time with Sharon being in the hometown girl, and the concert was great, and it's always good. It's always great fun to come back and see family.
And of course the banter from stage and from the audience, you could see that there are a lot of old friends and family and schoolmates of Sharon's that were around to join in with the evening's celebration.
Yeah, I think they came out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
And wanted to be there, which was really cool, really good.
Now, going back to you, of course, you would have met Sharon during the years of Dragon, is that right?
That's correct. We were Dragon. We just finished doing the Body and the Beat album, and we were on tour, and Sharon supported us for the first, 3 weeks or whatever it was, and we were on the road, and we had two planes because we were doing country towns and a lot of places, and we had 2 planes. One was called the Body and one was the Beat, and I think she was the Body. Is that correct? I think so. I believe I got a nod. Yeah, she was the Body and we were the Beat, and it was very cool. And that's when we met. So we actually met at a countdown 10-year celebration anniversary show. So that's basically what we call our first meeting.
Right.
Thing.
Okay. And so, like the relationship between you both has been magical because you write together, you play together, music together, and all kinds of other ways.
Quite a few years, Chrissy.
So, look, this is great that this has been a long-lasting connection.
Yeah, well, it was never planned. It certainly wasn't plotted, and it just fell into place. It's just like naturally just progressing, and never really thought about it,
Now your musical career has spanned, now going back before Dragon, classical training.
Yeah, I went to the school in Boston, Massachusetts, in the States, Boston Conservatory of Music, which is a really cool school. And I went there and I was majoring in music education and clarinet. clarinet. But I was playing drums, putting myself through college. So I was playing gigs on the weekend on drums and doing all these rock and roll things and all. So it was a great cluster of all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And then, so that was basically my learning period in college.
After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.
Social networking is all the rage on the internet, and millions of people all over the world visit one of the many social media sites every day, like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. A new social network that allows you to get paid for posting pictures. This platform brings e-commerce and social media together in one place and makes it possible to make money by sharing your content online. The system is very simple to use, whether you log into the website or use the mobile app. How does it work? The soon-to-be-launched website works very much like any other social media with a twist. You can earn money from the content you share. You can increase the opportunity of making additional income by connecting your other social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All you need to do is learn 3 simple steps. Snap it, tag it, and share it. Sign up today, http://kiwi1.igrowtour.com.
There's a great selection of deals this week at New World, like fresh New Zealand salmon fillets for only $25.99 a kilo. Pick up 2 loaves of quality Baker's Molenberg for just $5.50, and 2 packs of Arnott's Farm Bake or Pringles are now $6. Only at New World.
From small cars to trucks to commercial vehicles, we have all the leading brands of tyres, including Bridgestone. Our local professional qualified team serve the entire region 24/7. Tasman Tyre Treads, serving Richmond, Motueka and Golden Bay.
Victory 60 Plus is on Tuesdays at 1:30 through to 3:30 p.m. at 238 Upper Vanguard Street. You can join in for cards, games and a cuppa. For more information you can contact Jan on 546 9057 or 027 4577 955. You can find more of our news on Mainland TV Channel 1 at 5:30 p.m, 6:30 p.m, 7:30 p.m and 11 p.m. Also at other times on Mainland Channel 2 and Mainland Channel 3. You can find our TV guide online at www.7-media.net.
On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thank you for joining us, and we'll bring you the latest news and events from around the region again tomorrow.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
There's a great selection of deals this week at New World, like fresh New Zealand salmon fillets for only $25.99 a kilo. Pick up 2 loaves of quality Baker's Molenberg for just $5.50, and 2 packs of Arnott's Farm Bake or Pringles are now $6. Only at New World.
Discover the Belgrove Tavern just 20 minutes south of Richmond on State Highway 6. A restaurant, functions, weddings, barbecue, a garden bar with lots of room for kids. Come and see us.
From small cars to trucks to commercial vehicles, we have all the leading brands of tyres, including Bridgestone. Our local professional qualified team serve the entire region 24/7. Tasman Tyre Treads, serving Richmond, Motueka and Golden Bay.